Joining us right now is the former Secretary of Health and Human Services, Kathleen Sebelius. Secretary, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Glad to be with you.
What is your reaction from that defense yesterday?
Well, I frankly find it shocking that any product that has been on the market as long as EpiPen just suddenly rises in price 600%. And this is a life and death product. People need EpiPens for their own allergies. They need EpiPens for their children's allergies. And I think it's a terrible example of price gouging in the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah, but you know, she's been saying since this story broke weeks ago that it's the system, Secretary. I mean, she said, look, when you consider the fact that there are about 5 parties out there that get a take from the $600, you've got the distributors, you've got retail, you've got pharmacy benefit managers. What about that? Is the system so bureaucratic that it's actually hurting the consumer?
Well, I don't think this is a bureaucratic system. This is a private sector system where pieces of the puzzle are carved out by various people, but nothing justifies a 600% price increase for a product that has been on the market for a very long time. Whatever it is that's the rationale, it seems to be about making money. Mylan may not make as much money as people might think, but they're clearly making money off this dramatic price increase, and it puts lives at jeopardy.
So what do? Do you control the price?
There has been no research and development. There hasn't been any new rationale for this kind of price increase, and I think that's what consumers are now able to look at in a very transparent way. They're raising the prices because they can raise the prices.
So then,
this is not a government-controlled system.
Okay, but is it the FDA's fault then? How come the FDA is not approving more devices to compete with the EpiPen? How come we haven't seen more patents, more generics to actually compete with this thing so that there could be more competition on the market and prices would go lower?
Well, having been very familiar with the FDA for about 5.5 years, I think the safety and security as well as the efficacy standards in the United States are kind of the gold standard. In Europe, products go on the market that don't kill you, but they may not work at all. America has a system where you have to both be safe and secure, which is very important, as well as the product has to work. So I'm assuming that the FDA hasn't found yet a product that meets both of those standards. They are streamlining their processes. We get products on the market very quickly, but they have to meet both of those standards. So comparing the American regulation to European regulations is often looking at 2 very different things. There are lots of products in Europe that go on the market more quickly, but they don't work at all.
So you don't think that it's taking too long then to go through this process for companies?
Well, I think it's appropriate. I think it's appropriate to look at those processes, which we did over and over again. Peggy Hamburg, the former FDA commissioner, streamlined a number of products. They have fast-track approval process. There are lots of products, drugs and devices, moving through at a much faster pace, and I think that continuous improvement is important. What you don't want to do is sacrifice pace for products that are either safe and secure or actually work for the patient.
So yesterday, Congressman Jason Chaffetz also asked Heather Bresch if the name brand version was any different from the generic, which of course is much cheaper. Listen to this.
What's the difference in the generic version?
Is
it just the name?
It will be the same product with epinephrine auto-injector on it. It will be the same product.
So suddenly it's $608. Now you're going to have a generic of the generic, and that's going to be $300?
Yes.
I mean,
that easy,
I have never seen anything like this.
I'm speechless.
Well, Maria, I am too. Mylan owns the patent. So making a generic of their own product means they're making the same product, and I assume they're just putting it in a different wrapper and charging half price, which means they could lower the price in half for everybody, but they've chosen not to do that. So now they will have their own product, I guess, repackaged for some people at half the price. They are also offering some kind of coupon deal to some people at a much lower price. So I have no idea what the company's strategy is, except for making money on the stock price, making money for their executives, which does seem to me to put lives at risk in a very important product where no new research, no new development, no new additions have been added to the EpiPen, just price.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for free markets, but that did sound pretty damning. If you're
This is the free market.
Repackage it, and right now, after all of the criticism that you're under, oh, well, okay, we'll do it for $300 and we'll call it a generic.